Forget fluoride, this ancient mineral repairs enamel naturally. If your gums bleed every single morning when you brush, and you just rinse it away like it's normal. If cold water hits your teeth like a needle, and you've stopped ordering iced drinks at restaurants. If you catch yourself chewing on one side because the other side is just tender. If your dentist keeps saying words like recession and pocket depth, and we should probably talk about implants. Listen, you are not watching your teeth die of old age. You are watching your teeth die of a lie. For 70 years, you have been told that fluoride is what saves your teeth. That brushing with fluoride twice a day, rinsing with fluoride mouthwash, and drinking fluoridated water is the gold standard of dental health. And yet here you are, 60-something years old with bleeding gums, worn enamel, sensitivity, and a dentist who still wants to sell you another procedure. How is that possible? How is it possible that the most fluoridated country in the world has a population where 80% of adults over 50 have some form of gum disease? Because fluoride is not what your teeth are actually made of. Your enamel is made of something else entirely. A mineral your body recognizes. A mineral your great-grandparents had flowing through their food 3 times a day without even knowing it. A mineral that modern science has finally isolated in powder form. And when you give your mouth this mineral instead of fluoride, something incredible starts to happen, often within the first 48 hours. Before I tell you the name, there are a few things I need you to understand. Because this is bigger than one mineral. You're going to learn the one vitamin deficiency that nearly doubles your risk of moderate to severe gum disease. That number comes from a study of over 8,000 American adults. And when I tell you the number, you're going to be stunned. You're going to learn about a technology originally developed by NASA for astronauts who were losing their teeth in zero gravity, and how the Japanese figured out in 1970 that what worked for astronauts could rebuild human enamel here on Earth. You're going to learn why the same calcium you've been taking for your bones might actually be landing in your arteries instead of your teeth, and what one tiny vitamin changes about that overnight. And finally, you're going to meet a 68-year-old woman named Dorothy, who walked into my office 1 year ago with bleeding gums and 3 different dentists talking to her about implants. And what she looks like now is not what you would expect. So stay with me, because if you're still looking for the answer at the bottom of another tube of fluoride toothpaste, I promise you, you're looking in the wrong place. Here's what I want you to do. Think about the last year of your mouth. If your teeth feel rougher under your tongue than they used to, if food gets stuck in places it never used to, if your dentist has mentioned words like deep cleaning, bone loss, or implants in the last 2 visits. You are not imagining this. You are not being dramatic. And this is not what happens to everyone at your age. This is what happens to people who have been given the wrong information by a system that has been repeating the same story for 70 years while the science quietly moved on somewhere else. I'm not your dentist, but I have spent years reading what the researchers are actually publishing, and I'm going to tell you what the science is saying right now, not what the toothpaste companies have been saying since 1956. Here is what is actually happening inside your mouth. Your tooth enamel, the hard, shiny outer layer that protects everything else, is 97% made of one mineral. Its name is hydroxyapatite. Hydroxyapatite. That's your enamel. That's the actual stuff. Think of your teeth like a stone wall, strong, built from thousands of tiny crystals stacked together. Beautiful when it's intact. Now, when you brush with fluoride, fluoride does not become part of that wall. It cannot. It's the wrong material. All fluoride does is coat the very outside, a thin protective layer on the top, like spraying waterproof paint over the wall. And here's the problem no one tells you. That paint only reaches the surface. It cannot get inside the wall where the real damage is. After 50, your enamel already has tiny cracks, micropores, places where it's slowly thinning year after year. Fluoride can't reach any of that. It paints over the outside while the inside quietly crumbles. Hydroxyapatite is different. Hydroxyapatite is not paint. It's fresh cement, made of the exact same mineral your wall was originally built from. When you put it on your teeth, your body recognizes it. It bonds to it. It fills the cracks from the inside out. This isn't my opinion. Researchers in Italy and Japan have proven it over and over. A clinical trial published in 2021 followed children for an entire year and found that hydroxyapatite toothpaste worked just as well as fluoride at preventing cavities. Same result. No toxicity, no warning label, no danger if a grandchild accidentally swallows some. So why have you never heard of this? Here's the part that still shocks me. This wasn't invented in some lab last week. Hydroxyapatite toothpaste was developed by NASA to save the teeth of astronauts who were losing minerals in zero gravity. A Japanese company licensed the technology back in 1970. The Japanese government approved it as an anti-cavity agent in 1993. That was over 30 years ago. For 3 decades, people in Japan have been brushing with the mineral your enamel is actually made of, while Americans have been sold fluoride. It only started arriving in American drugstores in the last few years, and most dentists still won't tell you about it. I'll let you draw your own conclusions about why. Let me tell you about Dorothy. She came to see me about a year ago. 68 years old. A retired school teacher from Ohio. The first thing she said to me, sitting down, was, "I've seen 3 different dentists in 18 months, and 2 of them have told me I need implants in my lower back molars." Her gums bled every single morning when she brushed. Cold water on her front teeth made her wince. She had stopped smiling in photographs because she was convinced her teeth looked yellow and translucent at the edges, which they did. They were thinning. You could see it. She told me something that broke my heart a little. She said, "I feel like my teeth are dying one by one, and no one will tell me why. They just keep offering me more procedures." I want you to hear that sentence again, because I have heard a version of it from hundreds of women in their 60s and 70s. They just keep offering me more procedures? Not explanations, not root causes, procedures. We didn't start with a procedure. We started with the protocol I'm going to share with you in a moment. Within 3 weeks, Dorothy's gums stopped bleeding when she brushed. Within 6 weeks, she was eating apples again without flinching. At her 4-month follow-up, her own dentist, the one who wanted to put implants in her mouth, looked at her gum line and said, and I quote, "I don't know what you did, but your pockets are tighter. Don't stop." Dorothy is not a miracle. Dorothy is what happens when you stop painting over the cracks and start rebuilding the wall. Now let me walk you through exactly what she did. There are 3 doors to get hydroxyapatite back into the structure of your teeth. Not 1, 3. And if you only walk through 1 door, you will get partial results. Walk through all 3, and you become Dorothy. Door number 1 is the outside. This is the direct approach. You want a toothpaste that contains at least 10% nanohydroxyapatite. Not regular hydroxyapatite. Nano. The particle size matters enormously because nanoparticles are small enough to slip into the microscopic pores in your enamel and settle there. Larger particles just sit on the surface and wash away. Here is how you use it. Twice a day, morning and night, squeeze a pea-sized amount onto a soft bristled brush. Soft. Not medium. Not hard. Medium and hard brushes scrub away the very enamel you're trying to build. Brush in small, gentle circles for 2 full minutes. And now, the most important instruction I am ever going to give you about toothpaste. Do not rinse your mouth with water afterward. Spit out the excess, but leave the thin film of toothpaste on your teeth. That film is not residue. That film is a coat of paint made of the exact mineral your teeth are made of. It continues bonding to your enamel for up to 30 minutes after you brush. If you rinse, you wash off the very thing you were trying to apply. This one habit change, spitting instead of rinsing, will do more for your enamel than any other single thing. Door number 2 is your food. And this is where I want you to feel something, because this door has been open your entire life, and you never knew it was there. Hydroxyapatite doesn't just come in a tube. Your body can assemble it from raw materials if you give them to it. Those raw materials are calcium, phosphorus, collagen, and trace minerals. And where did your great-grandmother get them? Not from a pill bottle, from food. Bone broth. Real bone broth, simmered for 18 to 24 hours from grass-fed beef or chicken bones, is liquid hydroxyapatite precursor. The slow simmer pulls calcium and phosphorus and collagen directly from the bone marrow into the broth. 1 cup a day, sipped warm like a tea, is exactly what your grandmother drank when someone in the family was sick. And she didn't know she was delivering the exact minerals that rebuild teeth. Sardines with the bones still in them. Yes, the little bones. That's the point. Those soft, edible spine bones are pure calcium phosphate, which is the chemical skeleton of hydroxyapatite. 1 tin of sardines, 2 to 3 times a week, delivers more bioavailable mineral than most supplements. Hard-aged cheeses, Parmesan, aged Gouda, Pecorino. These are some of the richest natural sources of both calcium and vitamin K2, which we'll get to in a minute. The aging process concentrates the minerals and develops the K2 content dramatically. Egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens. The yolk is where the calcium, the phosphorus, the vitamin D, and the fat-soluble K2 live. This is why your grandmother fed you eggs when you were growing teeth, and why you should be eating them again now that you're rebuilding them. I want you to think about this. Your great-grandparents didn't need fluoride. They didn't have fluoride. They had bone broth and sardines and yolks and hard cheese, and they kept their teeth. Your grandmother probably kept most of her teeth into her 80s eating this way. Then the American diet changed. Processed foods replaced real foods. The bone broth got replaced with bouillon cubes. The yolks got demonized. The sardines became a joke. And now here we are. You are not broken. Your diet was broken. Fix the diet, and the minerals come back. Door number 3 is the systemic door. And this is the door that most people never even know exists, which is why most people try the first 2 and get maybe half the result they should have gotten. Here is the problem. You can brush with hydroxyapatite every day. You can eat sardines and bone broth until you can't look at another fish. But if your body doesn't have the right hormones and cofactors to direct minerals into your teeth and gums, much of it gets lost along the way. It ends up in your arteries, in your joints, in soft tissue. It does not end up where you need it. There are 3 specific nutrients that control where calcium and phosphorus go in your body. 3. And if you are deficient in any one of them, which most adults over 50 are, the whole system falls apart. The first is vitamin D3. D3 is what allows your intestines to absorb calcium from the food you eat. Without D3, calcium passes through you. No absorption, no raw material. The second is vitamin K2, specifically in the form called MK7. K2 is the traffic cop. Once calcium is in your bloodstream, K2 activates a protein called osteocalcin, which literally grabs calcium and carries it into your bones and teeth. Without K2, the calcium floats around aimlessly. It often gets deposited in your arteries. That's why a lot of older adults with perfectly adequate calcium intake still develop both osteoporosis and arterial calcification at the same time. The calcium is there. It's just going to the wrong places. Researchers have found consistently that people with advanced gum disease have measurably lower levels of vitamin K2 in their blood than people with healthy gums. That's not a coincidence. The third is magnesium. And this is where the research is strongest and least talked about. A landmark study in the Journal of Dental Research followed over 4,000 adults and found that people with a higher ratio of magnesium to calcium in their blood had less gum pocket depth, less attachment loss, and more teeth remaining in their mouths. More recently, a study published in 2024 looking at over 8,000 American adults found something even more striking. In people with severe magnesium deficiency, the rate of moderate to severe gum disease was 49%. In people without the deficiency, it was 32%. 49 versus 32. Magnesium deficiency alone, not fluoride, not brushing technique, not flossing frequency. Magnesium. Magnesium is the mineral that activates D3 into its usable form. It's the mineral that helps calcium lock into the crystal structure of enamel. It's the mineral that keeps your gum tissue firm and inflammation low. And magnesium deficiency is epidemic in adults over 50 because the processed food supply has been stripped of it, because stress burns it, because coffee flushes it, because prescription medications like proton pump inhibitors and diuretics deplete it. Here is the exact stack. 4,000 international units of vitamin D3, 200 micrograms of vitamin K2 in the MK7 form, 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. All three, taken together with breakfast, must be with a meal containing fat, eggs, butter, avocado, olive oil, because all three of these nutrients need fat to be absorbed. On an empty stomach, they pass through you useless. The total cost is between $12 and $16 a month. That's about 50 cents a day, to rebuild your teeth from the inside out. Now, before I let you go, let me recap, because I want you to have this locked in your mind when you walk away from this video. Door number 1. Twice a day, brush with a nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste containing at least 10% concentration. Use a soft brush. 2 full minutes. Small, gentle circles. Spit. Do not rinse. Door number 2. Bone broth, a cup a day. Sardines with the bones, 2 to 3 tins a week. Pasture-raised egg yolks, daily. Aged hard cheese, a small piece several times a week. Real food. Ancestral food. The food your great-grandmother fed her children. Door number 3. Every morning with a fatty breakfast, take 4,000 international units of D3, 200 micrograms of K2 as MK7, and 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. Read the labels. No fillers, no mystery blends, no magnesium oxide, which your body barely absorbs. Glycinate. Do this for 30 days. That's my challenge. 30 days, not 3 days, not a week. 30 full days without skipping. Without talking yourself out of it on day 4, the way you've talked yourself out of every other thing before. Take a close-up photograph of your gum line tomorrow morning, in good light. Take another one on day 30. You will see the difference. Tighter tissue. Less red. Less swollen. Your teeth will feel smoother under your tongue. Your sensitivity will fade. And if you keep going for 90 days, when you sit back down in your dentist's chair, they are going to pause and ask you what you've been doing. For 70 years, you have been told that losing your teeth is just what happens when you get older, that your gums are going to recede, that implants are inevitable, that the best you can hope for is to slow the decline. That is a lie. Your teeth are living tissue. They are fed by tiny channels called dentinal tubules, and fluid flows through those channels every single day, carrying minerals from the inside of your tooth out to the surface. When that flow is healthy, your teeth are literally rebuilding themselves while you sleep. When that flow stops, because you're short on minerals and short on the hormones that direct them, your teeth starve. And starving teeth die, not from bacteria, from starvation. You are not watching a natural decline. You are watching a nutritional deficiency that was hidden from you by an industry that makes more money when you need procedures than when you rebuild. Your great-grandmother did not have a dentist on speed dial. She had bone broth on the stove, sardines in the pantry, eggs from the backyard, and sunshine on her face. She kept her teeth. You can too. You don't need permission to do this. You don't need a prescription. You don't need to wait for your next appointment. You can start tomorrow morning, 50 cents a day, a different toothpaste, a cup of broth, a plate of real food, and a body that finally has what it needs to heal. It's not you that failed. It's the information you were given. Start tomorrow. 30 days. Your teeth will thank you. Your smile will thank you. Your independence will thank you. If this video has changed how you think about the health of your mouth, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the biological truths that have been buried for far too long. Reclaim your health. The next revelation is coming soon.